field first time in full pads? How good?
I tell you, the word for the day was physical. I mean, these guys got after it today. I was really excited just at the physicality of the game. I mean, it sounded like football. I mean, guys were getting that, even in individual drills or crossover drills. You know, Coach Chiswick always controls the tempo, and we go over that so that everybody understands when it's when it's tracking, when it's full speed. But we had to say, whoa, not sick. And as a coach, you like that. And, you know, the one thing that I try to emphasize to my guys at the end of practice is that's the first day. See, I tell them, don't count the days, make those days count. So ask me this same question about it after the 5th padded practice, and if the enthusiasm and the physicality is the same, then we know we're getting better.
How are the guys kind of, I guess, taking to some changes and a little bit different on offense?
You know, it's been unique to see because the newness of it, I was kind of like getting a new toy, you know, getting something new for Christmas. You know, they're excited about it. And our goal is to make sure that they stay excited about it throughout the whole deal because there are a lot of changes. The things aren't as simple. For those guys, they have to really focus and concentrate. Alignment, assignment, and those things are still the same as far as intensity-wise, but, you know, just getting in and out of a huddle is different for these guys. So it's been good to see. And I think the thing that's creating a lot of the enthusiasm is everybody's trying to compete for a job because they understand this is their 15-day interview. Because come two-a-days, we're really giving the new freshmen a chance to interview and then polishing for the season. So if you're going to win a job, you better win a job this spring because when we get to two-a-days, it's really going to be more about the new guys coming in, seeing if they're better than the guys that we have here, and then polishing for the first opening game.
Trevor, it doesn't get talked about much when you got new offense. I mean, you guys have to learn it.
Oh, absolutely.
Too. How challenging is that for you to learn it well enough to teach it in time? From the time he got here until spring practice.
Oh, absolutely, it's challenging. But I tell you, Coach Lefty does a good job of making it where we can make it make sense. And it's really speaking the same language because we might have called it 38, and here now we call it the toss, but it's still the quarterback turnaround pitching the ball to the quarterback. So it's really like learning a new language. So now there are some intricacies on routes and different things that he's done in his system, but there's only so many routes in football. And again, it's really about learning the names and and just putting them in packages so that the kids can understand it. So, but what you have to be careful of is, as a coach, you'll find yourself saying it's like the old 7-cut, or it's like the old. Well, we got to get out of that old. It's about the new right now, and I can't use that as a crutch. So that's been my biggest challenge, is to try to make the guys just kind of erase what they had last year and just stick to the terminology this year. So that way they can't use it as a crutch either, because now when you're trying to think, it's like the route that I used to run in Gus's office that we call this, and now it's that. No, I have to speak that same language, and so that's been my biggest challenge.
You mentioned the competition. Do you feel like this spring is going to be maybe the most competitive since you guys have been here?
It really is, because the new coordinators come in and they have no idea about anybody, and they don't want to hear our opinion. They want to watch and get it off tape and see those guys, and I love that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in the sense of they don't want any preconceived ideas about anybody. They want to see what they do between those white lines. And now, do we say he describes what this position does? I say, well, this guy's talent is kind of built for that, or this guy's talent is kind of built for that. Yeah, I give that kind of input. But watching them go out there and execute, and the great thing about it is guys are not learning just one position. They're having to learn a bunch of positions. And at the same time, it's an NFL mentality where you learn this today, and tomorrow we're moving on to the next thing. And we're not going back and review. We may call something that we put in, on Monday. We may call it again 2 days from now, and we expect you to know it. So, and before we did everything in parts, and so we'd stick with one deal until everybody matched it. Then we move on to the next one. And this is a whole lot different than what they're used to.
But do you have 3 number 1 guys right now?
No, and the reason I say that is because they're learning different positions. And once we find out who's good into the boundary, who's good into the field, who's good at the slot, then we'll be able to do that. Because what I've done is I started the guys that were X's and Z's, and now this week they're swapped. And then I took the slot guys and put them outside. So now everybody's going to play that one position and have the chance and an opportunity on tape to get evaluated. Because it's not fair to a kid if he didn't get evaluated at a certain position and then say, well, you're third or fourth team, and he never got an opportunity to get on tape. And then I think things that guys overlook during the spring that are huge are special teams. guys that are getting on these special teams and being able to help us on the defense side of it, that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because the guys like Emory Blake, he can't be on 4 special teams if he's going to end up being a starter and playing so many plays.
So speaking of Emory,
Mm-hmm.
do you think is he set up to be one of the best in the league, do you think?
He really is. I think he is one of the best in the league. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a receiver that runs better routes or smart. He may not be the fastest or the biggest or the strongest, but I guarantee he's productive. And in an inning setting, it doesn't matter inside, outside, you can move around to a lot of places. So I really feel good about it. And again, he's got to go out there and prove it again. But, our deal for him is 80 for 80. We want him number 80 to catch 80 balls or more and help him obviously project himself to the next level. Pretty good.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all very much.